We have a heavyweight prize fight here inside Gore Arena tonight. Thank you for joining us on ESPN+. It's the Campbell Fighting Camels, the best offensive club in the Big South, against the UNCG Spartans, riding a 4-game win streak, trying to take down the Camels, who are undefeated at home here on the season. Thank you for joining us here inside the broadcast booth, alongside the Hall of Fame coach Wanda Watkins, Evan Budrovich with you tonight. UNC Greensboro leads the Southern Conference in scoring and scoring defense. That can also be said about Campbell's team, but they do it in different ways. Coach, we know styles make fights. What makes this matchup so interesting coming in?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting just to see how they go about it. UNCG has a core of 3 players. They build everything around that from an offensive standpoint, whereas Campbell has a wide range of players. On any given night, we could see any player step up for the Campbells. We know Barber's consistent, but the others play such a role.
There are some key players to focus on this matchup, and for UNC Greensboro, the senior Nadine Solomon, the best player in the Southern Conference. What makes her such an effective player?
Well, she does it all. Not only does she lead them in scoring and in rebounding, but just her efficiency in doing so. And that probably has a lot to do with why she's the number 16 scoring player in the country right now.
The top scorer and rebounder for UNC Greensboro versus Campbell's breakout sophomore point guard, Luana Serrano. She's coming off her career high in points. How can she impact this basketball game?
Well, I think taking control like she did in the second half in the Kennesaw game was big. Certainly she is not playing like a player that's beginning her sophomore year. She's playing like a veteran. I know Coach Ronnie Fisher is going to want that to continue.
These teams met last year. Campbell came out with a 4-point win in Gore Arena, and back again tonight as the Spartans riding a 4-game win streak, and Campbell fresh off a win over Kennesaw State. Aja Boyd wins the tip, and away we go here tonight. Greensboro active offensively, 72 points per night, including Miss Nadine Solomon. She leads the club, averaging almost 20. Tasia Twitty, her first shot for Greensboro, comes up short. And now Campbell with their first offensive possession, led by Kiana Spate in the starting attack. Serrano with a corner 3. And Taya Bolden, getting her second start of the year, is rejected by Solomon.
Well, it looked like she had about 3 players surrounding her there, made it tough for her to get up. Bolden's going to have to use her shot fakes to be effective in there tonight, and I'm sure she will down the stretch.
Here's an early foul on Taya Bolden, who has not started since her birthday 3 weeks ago, and gets the start tonight against this big and physical UNC Greensboro club that just beat UNC Asheville by 27 on the road. That was a Black Friday beatdown in Asheville, and that's what makes this Greensboro team so scary, Coach. They can play on the road and play well. Yeah,
that was a huge win for them, and we'll see how Campbell attacks their strategy going into this game.
Aja Boyd right inside the post, and she traveled. An early turnover for the Spartans.
Looked like she picked up her pivot foot there just a little bit. Really good move, but a little shuffle of the feet.
Aja Boyd, a double-figure scorer herself, coming off a 14-point night. Serrano operating things for Campbell, giving it off to Haley Barber, the Big South Player of the Week over Thanksgiving.
Well, what a tremendous game, second half she had in the Kennesaw game. Both she and Serrano really turned it up a notch for Campbell.
20 points for Barber. That was a career high. Serrano now right back to Barber. 3 on the clock. That shot is short. An offensive rebound, and Bolden is fouled. Taya Bolden to the free throw line, searching for our first points of the evening.
Bolden always around that ball when it's coming off the rack. Just a natural-born rebounder.
So here's Taya Bolden. And Ronnie Fisher, he knows this is going to be a tough matchup tonight, especially with how well Greensboro's been playing. What is something you're looking to see out of Campbell here in these first few minutes to hang with a great offensive club in Greensboro?
Well, I think their defense. Coach Fisher is always stressing defense, and I know both programs do, but I know that's an area he really wanted his team to improve on down the stretch going into Christmas break. And so we'll see how they look like they're being very aggressive in their man-to-man, as is UNCG.
Here's Cece Crudup having trouble with the basketball. Solomon to the floor. And shot clock down to 10. Crudup, the starting point guard, leads her team in assists. Now gives it off to Boyd. Boyd has it poked loose, and a turnover forced by McNamara Clement.
You see, you see Saranya getting her hand on that ball, making that deflection, making that take place.
Barber misses the triple as both teams have yet to hit a shot from the field. So funny, we talk about offense coming in, and it's been up to free throws here in the first 2 minutes. Solomon really trying to get the basketball, and Barber right up in her face.
Yeah, Barber really making it hard for her to touch the basketball right now.
Crudup gets a second shot, no good. Twitty on the rebound, and Tasia Twitty rattles it home.
Twitty showing her physical strength there. Just kind of manhandling that ball going back up inside.
Tasia Twitty, she scored in double figures 4 times, a big post scorer for the Spartans. And we are back even. Campbell's coming off an impressive home win over Kennesaw State, holding the Owls to just 51 points. But now Greensboro in transition. Twitty will slow it down for Powell, the point guard.
Twitty showing her versatility there, coming from behind, knocking that ball away.
The junior forward out of Rutherfordton, North Carolina, now has the basketball here at the elbow. Back up to Powell. Good matchup with Serrano, arguably Campbell's best defender. Crudup in traffic, down to 4 on the shot clock. And a miss, scooped up by Twitty on the offensive board.
Twitty got a lot of extra effort out on the court already in this game.
What do you think of the scrappy nature of these first 4 minutes?
Yeah, it looks physical. It looks like the officials are going to let them play, and they're going to let you play. You got to take advantage of that and play that way.
Shot clock down to 3. Powell just recognized it, and there's a foul away from the ball. A big benefit for UNC Greensboro.
You know, we talked about defense going into this game, and we've seen the shot clock go down under 10 on almost every possession by both teams.
This is Trina Patterson's best start at UNC Greensboro. How about in her first year? She made it to the WBI finals in her first season.
Yeah, Trina has really, she has just got a great coaching resume. She really does.
Working under the likes of Tara Vanderveer at Stanford. Also working at Old Dominion in her recent stops.
Playing under the legendary Debbie Ryan at UVA and going to the Sweet 16 her senior year.
And coaching up her post player, that's Aja Boyd.
Wow, she made that look like a guard play, didn't she?
The senior center has been excellent in the post out of Petersburg, Virginia. Now Campbell looking to tie things up.
A lot of contact out on the floor.
Michaela Coleman, number 3, she's in for the first time tonight. Slips it out to Serrano. An open 3 on the way, and Campbell has the lead.
Hey, she's picking up where she left off in that Kennesaw game, burying that 3-point shot there. You know, she shot 60% from the floor in that game. It was amazing.
6 of 10 from the field for Serrano. She was not the player of the week in the conference, but right up there with Haley Barber as Coleman gets a turnover. And now Michaela, the left-hander by trade, shoots it out to Brittany Staves, the freshman in there out of Raleigh. And we're already seeing in these first 5 minutes Campbell go to its bench,
Absolutely.
much like Ronnie Fisher's done all season.
Yeah. Coach Fisher goes deep into his bench, and that's a real strong asset of the program.
Laura McNamara Clement draws the foul. That's on Boyd, her first. UNC Greensboro, they'd run about 7 to 8 players deep for Trina Patterson, so we'll keep an eye on the foul situation tonight.
Yeah, you know, with that core of 3 players, if you just take a little bit away from one of them, it could make a big impact in the basketball game.
McNamara Clement misses the bunny, and here comes Powell up the floor.
Well, Twitty's been impressive thus far.
Keep an eye out for number 23 tonight. All-conference preseason player in the Southern Conference, along with Solomon, who leaves it up for Crudup and rolls it in. This Greensboro team, they can shoot at 47%, and they're starting to heat up in this first quarter.
Yeah, they're athletic. They love to get it off the dribble, take it and go, stop and pop. Just very athletic, very physical.
A lob pass into McNamara Clement. Shot around the Staves. Shot clock under 10, and Brittany shoots a 2 from the wing.
How about it?
Brittany Staves, a fascinating case study. In games that she's played, she's averaged 8 points. And Ronnie Fisher trusting her early as Greensboro turns it over.
Yeah, she's been impressive coming off the bench for Campbell, for sure.
We have a media timeout on the floor. Campbell up 1 here in the first quarter.
hard work, a love for the game is mandatory down here. Sacrifice, a desire to be great, lives down here.
Perez open three, yes!
Excellence, the will to compete, persists down here.
For the win!
This is the Big South, where winners are made.
Geico makes it easy to get help when I need it. With licensed agents available 24/7, it's not just easy. It's having Jerome Bettis on your flag football team easy. Go get him, Bus!
Ooh. Come on, Bus. Come on. Hey, wait. Man, I got the flag. I got your flag, man. I got your flag.
It's Geico Easy, with licensed agents available 24/7.
49-0.
One boy.
Discover the new language of travel.
Bon voy.
Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences. Rewards reimagined.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Whether it's the practice field or weight room, in class or on game day, we compete down here. We put in work, day in and day out, to take a step forward towards degrees, championships. Our goals? Excellence on every level. 11 schools, more than 4,000 student athletes, one attitude. We are the Big South, where winners are made.
Campbell up one in the early goings of this first quarter. UNC Greensboro off to an impressive 5-2 start. And Coach Wanda Watkins, Evan Budrovich with you tonight. Greensboro has dominated the all-time series in years past. Campbell, of course, the win last year. But this Greensboro club, a former member of the Big South, and these teams have quite the history back in the early 90s.
Yeah, they really did. And, UNCG got the better half of us on a number of those occasions, but it was always good battles, and they had quite a tradition there, going way back to the days of Lynn Agee, who just did a sensational, one of the all-time great coaches in the game.
Coach Watkins, you had 10 matchups with Greensboro in your career, both in Carter Gym and in Greensboro. Here's Kiana Spate, fresh off the timeout, and she drills a three.
Oh, there's another three. Let's see, that's turning things around here.
Kiana Spate, 37% from downtown. She's Campbell's best shooter. Up top now to the new sub in, Alexis Willie for Greensboro. Twitty battling Hampton in the post, draws the double team and banks it in.
Tell you, Twitty, I know I keep saying this, but I've been impressed with her physicality and the little extra oomph about her out on the floor tonight.
Tasia Twitty shoots over 60%, very good in the post. Brittany Staves wants to launch a three, and that's strong. Here comes Alexis Pitchford, the junior point guard. Out to Solomon, haven't said her name much tonight. Look at Michaela Coleman with the assignment of Solomon here.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Coach Fisher's doing a good job putting fresh people on her, putting good defenders on her. And like we said early on, taking a few things away from one of those three core players could make a huge difference in this game tonight.
Brittany Staves picks up the foul. That's her first. And that's what's fascinating about this matchup, Coach, because you have Campbell that'll run 10-11 deep, and they're going to try to counterbalance a traditional starting five for Greensboro. And what have you noticed here in the first 7 minutes about Campbell's rotation?
Well, you know, their rotation is always good, and they get good lift. You know, that's the thing that's so important when you use a lot of people, is that you get good lift off the bench. And Coach Fisher's team very productive tonight, coming off the bench, giving that.
Speaking of the bench, Alexis Willie comes right off and drains a wing three.
Wow.
Greensboro's back in front. Their first lead since the opening minute. Serrano wants to take the lead herself, and the three-pointers are falling here in Gore Arena.
Well, you know, both teams are keeping the ball out in front, which is forcing the other team to shoot on the perimeter. Both teams are doing that well right now.
13-11, Campbell jumps in front. Willie back to work, trying to work the ball to the post. Solomon's open, goes up into Serrano and draws the foul. Nadine Solomon, the senior out of Cairo, Egypt. She's so tough to stop, and especially in the post.
She is. She does so much for her team. There we see where there was a little bit of a hack on that, a little bit of contact. I think Coach Fisher's a little upset there was contact before that.
Nadine Solomon, among her many accolades, is the active scoring leader in the Southern Conference. No player with more points at the moment, but she misses the first free throw. Solomon, three-time All-Conference. She scored 15 last year in Gore Arena and continues to find ways to score for her team. So it's back to a one-point ball game. Final 2 minutes in this opening quarter. And you know it's a good one. Ronnie Fisher's suit jacket has come off.
Came off on that last play, that's for sure.
Michaela Coleman now with the basketball. Pitch for Gardinger.
A lot of contact.
Offensive rebound to Staves. Collision of the post and a blocking foul is called. That's on Pitchford, very close to being an offensive foul. And a big break there for Staves.
Yeah, it really was. Very, very close. I'm not sure. It looked like she might have had 1 foot in the arc, Evan. And I think, let's see, if her left foot, you see where her left foot's in the arc, watch. Back here. Her left
just
foot.
snuck her left foot in there. Great work by her crew to get you the replay. Coach, you draw it up. We just got to get you one of those whiteboard markers.
Yeah.
And you can start drawing lines as Staves misses her first free throw attempt.
Campbell doing well from the line this year as a team. I believe they're leading the Big South Conference in free throw percentage, if I remember correctly.
20th in the country.
It's going to be important in a game like this.
And as you say that, broadcaster's jinx. Staves goes 0 for 2. And now Greensboro trying to take the lead themselves. Tough pass there for Amber Redmond off the bench. With the red hair, of course. Very fitting. Solomon, the all-time leading scorer for Greensboro, wants a clear out. Here's a long three for Solomon. And Tooley there to clean it up. Shai Tooley coming off the bench tonight, her first minute for Campbell. Have not seen as much offensively from Tooley this year.
You know, I think there's a lot of emphasis on Tooley because she does have such a good shooting touch. And beautiful move inside there by Stoves again.
And the freshman gets on the board for the first time tonight.
But I think Tooley is a topic of discussion for a lot of scouts.
Especially when she's second in rebounding for Campbell.
Yeah.
Not just the scoring. Coleman looks to add to the point totals. Goes up with the left and lays it in.
You know, that was a good hang by Coleman and a good look by Serrano. But Coleman did well to hold on to that ball just because of the position of her body to finish that strong.
Final 45 seconds in this quick-moving first quarter. Backdoor cut, searching for Willie, and a turnover. Serrano lays it out to Tooley. Campbell's marksman nails a triple.
That's why there's so much talk about that young lady in the scouts.
Shai Tooley only 6 points a game this year, but she is explosive from downtown. And now Campbell's largest lead at 8. We're seeing a bit of an enthused effort from Campbell in this first quarter.
And again, a lot of this is coming off the bench. Tooley coming in off the bench, giving them a great lift. And Staves coming in off the bench, giving them a great lift.
Pitchford into the post. Twitty with a tough angle. Puts it up with 2 seconds and banks it in. Whew. That ends the first quarter as Tasia Twitty shows off her acrobatic ability. And Shai Tooley helps Campbell extend its lead to 6 through 1 quarter of play. When we come back, quarter number 2 here inside Gore Arena. That first quarter was dominated by Luana Serrano, a steal and a couple of triples. How was she able to come alive in that first quarter, Coach?
Well, I tell you, she's just playing with a lot of poise and a lot of confidence for this team right now. A lot of it started in the second half of that Kennesaw State game, and she's picking up right where she left off.
Ronnie Fisher coming into Thanksgiving week, he challenged Serrano to be more aggressive offensively. It seems like she's taken that challenge very well and now leads her team in scoring through this first quarter.
What a bright future. A player that young, listening to her coach, look where it's taking her.
That's what a coach can dream. And here with the former Campbell Hall of Fame coach, Wanda Watkins, Evan Budrovich with you for quarter number 2. The top team in the Southern Conference so far this year against, by stats, the best team in the Big South in Campbell. Shai Tooley wants to keep the hot streak going, and she's 2 for 2 from downtown.
Tooley's ready tonight, huh?
She did not score in her last game against Kennesaw State. That's the first time all year. And 6 quick points for Tooley. This lead is ballooned to 9. As Tasia Twitty working on her pirouette move up top. Finds Aja Boyd. Hitchford into the post. Good step through move. And can't finish. Boyd reaches up, grabs the rebound, and an and one.
Good extra effort there. Campbell wanted to do a better job there on the defensive block out, keeping her off that board, but good extra effort by Boyd to get the stick back and then end up at the free throw line.
Aja Boyd leads the Southern Conference in rebounding. Also the best field goal percentage in the league, and both on display right there as she finishes off the three-point play.
It'll be interesting to see if both these teams stay in this matchup. You know, if they stay in this man-to-man, throughout the remainder of the half, we see any changes.
Tooley wants to shoot. You can see it in her eyes. Pitches it back out to Barber. Now Svenja Nuremberg off the bench. And the freshman's called for the charge. Nicely drawn by UNC Greensboro, and that's Boyd absorbing the contact.
Yeah, good take inside there. I'm sure coach is wanting Svenja to just take that shot rather than drive, maybe just stop and pop that.
Campbell goes to the bench real quick as Svenja comes right out after just 1 minute and 4 seconds. Taya Bolden checks in. And that's the first time all year we've seen Ronnie Fisher have a quick trigger. Curious what you think about Taya Bolden checking in now.
Well, Bolden, you know, Coach Fisher gets a lot out of Bolden for her minutes, and we'll see what transpires out on the floor. Somebody's got to take care of Twitty and Boyd down there.
Twitty's been tough to stop, misses off the backboard, gets her own rebound and cleans it up.
And I'm sure that's not the way he wants it done.
Tasia Twitty, second team all-conference last year. She's a rebounding machine. Now has 4 boards in this first half. Tooley trying to work the ball into Taya Bolden. Instead, Campbell works outside in. Bolden turns her head like a deer in headlights, looking for a passing option. Finds Barber. Now Serrano sizing up Powell. Shot clock down to 2. Tough look for Barber on the baseline. And Twitty with a strong rebound. All of a sudden, UNC Greensboro on a 4-0 run.
Twitty's all over the place at both ends of the floor. Greensboro looking to get some action coming off those staggered screens.
That was a good look by Alexis Willie, and the Spartans are now 1 of 3 from downtown. Barber lost it behind her legs, and that's stolen away. Powell with the turnover.
We got ourselves a fight going on here, don't we?
Powell blows by McNamara Clement and lays it off the window. It's a 2-point game. Man, Greensboro turned it up a gear in this second quarter. This is a 7-0 run.
Great defensive effort by Greensboro. Good second shot opportunities for them.
McNamara Clement, a great catch, but she comes up short.
And a good pass by Serrano.
And here comes Hitchford. Alexis, the junior, runs into Barber. Nothing called. And McNamara Clement throws it away to Powell. But Powell can't stay in bounds, and both teams giving the ball back and forth.
Pretty physical out there on the floor.
I like the way this game's being officiated. Brian Burnett, our lead official. He's letting them play, and this crew is allowed for a pretty free-flowing game in this first half.
You know, it's all you can ask is that you get consistency out of your officials, and they've definitely been that.
Haley Barber, Campbell's captain, to throw it in. And Ronnie Fisher this year went with a unique output. He had 5 different captains named on his team. I'm curious, Coach, how that kind of works, especially when there's a captain of the offense and a captain of leadership, and how that all intertwines with a team.
You know, giving people something to identify with, a goal that you need for them to meet, is what makes the world go round, you know.
And one of those captains in Barber scores her first points of the night. Campbell breaks the 7-0 run. Aja Boyd's been the instigator tonight, getting it out to Powell. By the way, Solomon, she's been quiet. Let's see if that changes right here. A fadeaway, and she sinks it.
Well, that was a good turnaround jumper coming off that stagger screen in the corner by Solomon. A lot of action going on out on the floor by both teams, setting these people up for these buckets.
How about that crossover by Saranya, but she misses the triple. Staves crashes in for the rebound and earns an extra possession. The presence of the freshman all over the boards.
Yep, a lot of heart. A lot of heart out there by Staves.
Brittany Staves go up against an all-conference player in Nadine Solomon and holds her own. 20 seconds now on the shot clock, leaving Spade open, and Campbell will reset. Back out to Spade. A men's 3 is short. Might reconsider her launch point next time. Here comes UNC Greensboro.
Yeah, it's a difficult part about two lines being out on the floor. Oftentimes you find that shooters shoot behind the further one.
Now that black line is the one to note tonight. Serrano's been hot from downtown. She's made both of her 3-point attempts. Staves working into the post and overshoots her target, Ashlyn Hampton. And that's a turnover as Greensboro can tie it on this possession. Cece Crudup comes back in for UNCG. And for the first time tonight, Pernilla Sorensen, the junior forward out of Sweden, comes in. So there's the bench of Trina Patterson, runs about 8 or 9 deep. And she certainly found a reason to get her bench in this first half.
Absolutely. And it's paying off for both teams.
Solomon, 3 points tonight.
Watch the off-the-ball screen in action.
Tough shot by Solomon, affected there from Hampton. Staves with a 3-on-2. Runs it in the middle of the key. Goes right to the basket.
How about that?
And a timeout called by Trina Patterson. Tough freshman to stop Brittany Staves with a quick bucket. And we have a timeout on the court. Campbell up by 4 as Staves can't slow down Aja Boyd. And Greensboro hanging around in this second quarter.
Good extra effort there by Twitty again.
Hard work,
Getting it
a
done.
love for the game is mandatory down here. Sacrifice, a desire to be great, lives down here.
Perez open 3, yes!
Excellence, the will to compete, persists down here.
It's for the win!
This is the Big South, where winners are made.
Geico makes it easy to get help when I need it. With licensed agents available 24/7, it's not just easy. It's having Jerome Bettis on your flag football team easy. Go get him, Bus!
Ooh. Come on, Bus. Come on. Hey, wait. I'm gonna get the flag. I got your flag, man. I got your flag.
It's Geico Easy, with licensed agents available 24/7.
49-0.
Bon boy.
Discover the new language of travel.
Bon boy.
Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences. Rewards reimagined.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Whether it's the practice field or weight room, in class or on game day, we compete down here. We put in work day in and day out to take a step forward towards degrees, championships. Our goals? Excellence on every level. 11 schools, more than 4,000 student athletes, one attitude. We are the Big South, where winners are made.
We mentioned coming in how prowess Campbell is offensively. Here late in this second quarter, the Fighting Camels are up by 4. Part of what's fueled that success is their assist to turnover margin, the best in the Big South. Tonight, it's 7 assists to 5 turnovers. What must Campbell do to limit some of those mistakes late in this half?
Well, I think just ease into the game, get the flow. UNCG is a great defensive team just like Campbell, and both teams are going to be trying to force turnovers. And I think just slowing down, going at your pace, and battling against that physicality that's being allowed in the game.
This is a matchup of mano-a-mano, the best scoring team in the Southern Conference against the best scoring team in the Big South. Could be a possible NCAA preview as Crudup is stripped by Barber. Look at Haley Barber to the floor. It's a jump ball as it stays on this end of the court, but you have to love the hustle from the senior.
Yeah, a lot of hustle, a lot of physicality out on the floor. Both teams enduring and getting after it.
Greensboro at 5-2, their best start since 1991. No player on the floor was alive at that point. And coach, this is going to make you roll your eyes. Neither was I. And yet here we are, a good Greensboro team and a Campbell squad undefeated at home, making for what's been a pretty entertaining first half.
Really has. Nip and tuck the entire way.
Ronnie Fisher playing that 6th defender on the sideline. Good blow by. Powell goes up with the right hand. 1 on the shot clock. And play continues here on the violation.
There you see Barber making a good move. Good smart heady move just to slow it down for just a second.
Hampton wants it in the post. And good coverage saved by Powell. And Boyd and Powell playing 1v1 to keep it in play.
Staves and Hampton got to get that eye contact down on that lob pass inside.
Greensboro hasn't scored in 2 minutes, and Hampton intercepts the pass for Solomon.
Good hustle back play by Hampton to get that ball back for her team.
There has been no isolation ball tonight, Coach. The plays between both these teams have been impressive, and as a coach, you got to enjoy this style of basketball.
Absolutely. Getting after it, both teams.
Crudup right in the face of Barber as the shot clock hits 10. Now Coleman out at the wing. Gets a screen from Staves. Sorensen on the switch. Tough look at Hampton with 1 on the clock. And not enough time for Hampton to get anything going. That's a turnover.
Again, shot clock's getting down in numbers. Good defense out on the floor. Good defense by UNCG that time.
And that's what's making this game such a low-scoring affair, despite the fact that each team's shooting 47%.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely not that either team's not playing or shooting well. There's just a lot of scrap going on out here on the floor. Look to be 2 evenly matched teams right now.
And that's a good sign, especially as we get close to halftime here. Solomon sprints into the key. Spate draws the charge, and the quick footwork of the graduate senior draws the offensive foul.
Solomon took off when she headed to the basket that time. And Spate was smart. She got in there, got her feet set, got ready early, was waiting for her.
What do you think, Coach?
Good
Charge
shot.
or a block?
Back it up. You see she's clearly outside the arc. There she is. Yeah, looked like she got there in time. Good call.
Thanks to our crew for queuing that one up as Spate wants to add to her totals. And she goes right into Solomon. You got to love that matchup. 1v1 all night. Shot clock again down to 10. Barber.
There's a good screen.
Calls her own number. Misses strong off the window. And here comes Pitchford. Greensboro hasn't scored in 4 minutes. Crudup wants to change that, but she comes up short. And Brittany Staves now into the front court.
Both teams picking the pace up now.
Barber sizing up Twitty with the mismatch. And Haley Barber looks to her coach, Ronnie Fisher. Resetting things late in this second quarter. Hampton on a tough catch. Guarded by Sorensen. Spins to her left, goes off the window and breaks the 2-minute drought.
Good gutsy move by Hampton. Going one way, coming back with her left hand the other.
Post play is a big question for Campbell in terms of scoring, and we're seeing a lot more from the likes of Hampton and McNamara Clement tonight. As Barber tips the pass out of bounds, you can see a little bit of frustration there from Nadine Solomon trying to get the basketball. Campbell, what have they done to slow her down tonight?
Well, they're trying to limit her touches, and they're doing a good job of it. And then when she gets the ball and starts to the basket, they're getting set up early, and they're ahead of the game from the help side. That's going to need to continue for Campbell.
And Thule does just that. Another turnover, 10 now for Greensboro. Thule at her favorite spot, the free throw line. Scoops up his shot, draws a foul. And in this defensive-minded first half, Shai Thule tries to get Campbell up to 30 points as the sophomore toes the line. Thule only had 2 points when these teams met last year. She was a young freshman learning her way. What has impressed you about Thule's ability to make an impact besides just scoring here as a sophomore?
Well, she's definitely taken on a big role rebounding this year. You know, she's up the ante there. The thing about Thule that's impressive is she's the same all the time. Even in the last game, she plays with confidence. In that last game was a game where she didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but she continued to shoot the ball, and boy, has she really bounced back in this game.
Campbell is led by as many as 9 in the second quarter. Greensboro has not scored in 4.5 minutes. Twitty sizing up Taya Bolden. Tasia Twitty goes to her right, draws the foul, can't get the bucket. 2 free throws for Twitty. The junior has been a double-double machine. 4 this season. And you look at the numbers tonight, Coach. Twitty already 7 rebounds and 8 points.
Yep. Could crack that double-double before halftime.
A good start to it as she makes the free throw, and this has got to be tough to stop as Twitty can hesitate and really make it tough for Bolden.
Yeah, it almost went in. Good spin move, though, by Twitty.
There's your 10 points. Keep an eye out for those 3 more rebounds,
3 more
Coach.
rebounds. Will be a
She'll get the
double-double at halftime. How about that?
Svenja Nuremberg comes in. She only played 1 minute, a quick sub out in the second quarter, and I'm curious to see how she'll play in this final minute and a half as Campbell is up 5. And Haley Barber works the clock for the first time pretty much all quarter from either team.
All right, Greensboro has now changed their defense. They've gone to a zone defense.
And Barber attacks it, drawing the foul. That's on Alexis Willie. Actually, my apologies, on Cece Crudup with the foul, her first foul. We talk about Campbell, a good free throw shooting team. Well, Barber is the paramount, 83% from the line. And in a broadcasting, she mixed it.
How many times has that happened with us?
Well, we mentioned Campbell was top 20 in the country. Tonight they're 3 for 7. And in a physical game like this, does that affect at all your free throw shooting?
Well, it could. Actually, it could. I think free throws are just more of a mental. It's more of a mental thing.
Nice to have a Hall of Famer and a former leading scorer, Wanda Watkins, with us. Evan Budrovich here with you, a middle school basketball standout. Cece Crudup, she's a pro's pro and goes right to her left hand as Boyd puts it in.
Pretty move by Boyd.
Aja Boyd now up to 7 points, second leading scorer for the Spartans. And here's that zone once again. Nuremberg on the baseline, lost it off her leg and just stayed in bounds. Great look here from the corner. Shot clock down to 10. McNamara Clement is trapped, and it's off of Campbell. Good defense by UNC Greensboro.
Probably good move by Coach Patterson here, changing her defense up, giving a different look here down in the last couple minutes. See what happens.
UNC Greensboro on a 4-0 run. Now a chance to make this a 1-possession game. Kiana Spate with the defensive assignment here on Pitchford. Pitchford slips it to Crudup. Crudup with a tough floater in the post. Tipped around, and look who's got the rebound. It's Crudup.
Tipped by Twitty.
Remember, the shot clock only resets to 20 now on offensive rebounds. So a chance for a 2-for-1. Patterson wants Greensboro to slow it down.
Shot clock going down again.
Down to 5. Pitchford on the switch. Drives in, draws the foul. A lot of contact. And to the free throw line goes Alexis Pitchford, the Orlando, Florida product.
Well, I'm sure that wasn't what Coach Fisher wanted on that one. Here we see the move. There is a little bump with the body. You see it with the trunk area there by Spate.
So Barber has clean contact there. It's Spate that will draw the foul, right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And they do confirm it's Kiana Spate with the foul. That's her first. You see Serrano come back in. She's been excellent. Campbell's leading scorer was 6 points. And with 15 seconds left, a chance to end the half with a flurry. Pitchford makes her first of 2. Alexis, she just entered the starting lineup 2 weeks ago against Liberty and had one of her best games. 5 assists tonight off the bench, and now makes both free throws for Greensboro.
Well, we got a 2-pointer here. Big possession here for Campbell, right? I'm sure they're going to use the clock.
Campbell led by as many as 9 in the second quarter. Now Toohey to extend the lead. No good. Barber tips it up. Crudup's got the rebound. A chance to heave up a prayer. Stripped by Barber. And what a fitting way to end this defensive first half. Campbell holds on for a 2-point lead. It was Shai Toohey getting things started. Greensboro hanging around late in the half with their post play. And Haley Barber taking control late in the second. We go to the Geico halftime report. Campbell up 2. Welcome back to the Geico halftime report. Campbell up 2. Here through 20 minutes of play. Campbell fans trying to enjoy what has been a very fluid offensive game so far. And Evan Budrovich and Wanda Watkins with you. Coach, what stands out to you from this first half, especially when the pace of play went from very fast to slow and then it picked up again late in the half?
Well, you look at it statistically, both teams are shooting the exact same thing from the floor. However, Campbell's shooting a little bit better from three-point territory. But it's been a battle, It's been a physical game and one that we've just kind of seen some ups and some downs, and yet the game's remaining close throughout.
By the way, Coach, it is December, so enjoy some holiday dancing on the floor.
Yeah, how about that?
Where's your outfit is the real question. Oh, look, if they didn't film it with their phone, it didn't happen. So there's about 6 phones out right now to make sure they got that all going.
Got to take that home with them.
Well, anyway, when we come back, more on the Geico halftime report. Campbell up 2 here over Greensboro at halftime. A reminder, fans, Marriott is the official hotel partner of the Big South Conference. So the best rates book with Marriott today by visiting BigSouthSports.com/Marriott. Campbell up 2 here at the break, 20 minutes inside Gore Arena. And early on in this first half, Campbell's defense forcing the hand of the Spartans. What do you think of their performance to slow down UNC Greensboro?
Well, I tell you, it's a defensive battle. It really is. Here we see at the beginning with Campbell, and we see it with UNCG. Now there's a great move on the baseline by Boyd.
Boyd was busy, and then Serrano started heating up. 2 threes and 4 assists. Serrano kick-started this offense.
Those 3-pointers really ignited the Campbell offense, and I believe that's at that point where they had the biggest lead.
Shai Thule came off the bench as well and was productive with 7 points. But UNC Greensboro working the ball to the post to stay around. And how about Powell drawing the contact there?
Going up strong. What about Barber?
Barber forced one of 10 turnovers for the Spartans. And then Ashland Hampton, a nice offensive move. There's your best plays from half number 1. Coach, quickly before we go to break here, what do you think is going to change for either team to pull ahead in the second half?
Well, just going to have to look and see which team begins to blossom from an offensive standpoint. Which team can adjust to this defense the quickest and last the longest? That's going to be important, I think, because we're going to see great defensive play out of both teams.
When we come back, key numbers from the first half. Campbell up 2. Some first half numbers here inside Gore Arena. These teams came into the game with the same shooting percentage, and I'll be darned, the same field goal percentage in the first half, but it was Campbell, 5 made three-pointers. They've had success from long range tonight.
Yeah, three-point percentage making a big difference, and especially making a big difference when Campbell jumped off to their biggest lead in that half. Everything else is pretty much about the same.
Campbell has forced 10 turnovers. That's been a huge difference. And then on the boards, UNC Greensboro, the best rebounding team in the Southern Conference, and it's been led by Tasia Twitty, 7 rebounds. Campbell more a collective effort on the boards. How important will that be, especially in the second half?
Well, I tell you, you want to eliminate second shot opportunities and try to control the defensive boards. That's always big in a close basketball game.
Fans on the edge of their seats right now. Get ready for this second half. The band, they're excited to get ready to roll as Campbell gets back on the court. When we come back, the second half, Campbell and UNC Greensboro. All after this on ESPN+. Welcome back inside Gore Arena. Campbell coming off an impressive season last year, tying their program record in wins. We know they bring back 4 starters, but this year's club, Wanda, a different team, yet very similar. It seems as if they're starting to find their groove, especially here tonight.
Yeah, they do. And the thing that's so amazing about their team is the lift that they get that we've talked about from the bench. Not a lot of selfish play on this team. They just pull from everyone to make it happen.
As for UNC Greensboro, they only won 1 road game last year. They have 3 road wins this year, a team that's looked very composed in a club trying to break some preseason expectations, picked 5th in the SoCon preseason poll.
Yeah, that'll be a shocker. I would be willing to bet they're going to be better than a 5th place conference team.
Yeah, Mercer and Furman were 2 of the favorites in the league coming in, and Greensboro's looked excellent so far this year at 3-2.
Yeah, great start by Greensboro.
It's interesting, too, the Big South and the SoCon, they meet in every sport, but last season they were 12-12 against each other as a league. This season, Campbell, of course, beat Western Carolina. We saw UNC Greensboro beat Asheville. The leagues are 7-5 against each other, so very competitive as well. And that makes Ronnie Fisher know how important this game is tonight.
Absolutely. Great competition in preparing both teams for their conference play.
In fact, conference play starts in 3 weeks for Campbell. It'll be here at home on the 28th. Bolden catches a tough pass, misses off the front rim, and Twitty already up to 8 rebounds tonight.
She's working that double-double we talked about early on.
UNC Greensboro hasn't trailed at halftime in 4 games. Trying to keep alive this 4-game win streak here tonight. How about Powell flexing the guns, calling out the play?
Yep, definitely a set, quick hitter of some sort.
Solomon, who was quiet in the first half, misses her first touch in the second. Nadine Solomon, 20 points tonight. She only has 3 points right now, and more impressively, only 4 shots from the field.
Yeah, Campbell doing a good job on her, putting pressure on her and keeping a fresh person on her. Barber shared in it, Coleman shared in it.
Speaking of which, Barber gets the turnover. That's 11 mistakes for the Spartans. Here comes Haley Barber. McNamara Clement dared to shoot. Will she do it? Nope, she goes right to the post. Here comes Bolden. You can tell Campbell's running a set here as the shot clock hits 10. Now can they execute? Serrano on a switch. Boyd on her. Serrano crosses over Boyd and nails the triple.
She's clutch. She is clutch right now.
Muy caliente from downtown. 3 made threes for Serrano. Boyd, leading scorer for Greensboro. She's got 10. Feeds it off to Crudup. Crudup works it out to Twitty. Offensive rebound for Solomon, and she draws the foul. Well, that's an area where Nadine Solomon can make her presence felt. And she works the boards and gets to the free throw line.
Yeah, you know, that's an area we talked about at halftime that's critical. You want to definitely, from a defensive standpoint, stop those offensive second stick backs, second chance point opportunities. Good job by Solomon to work to get that.
Barber did go straight up, but Solomon initiated that contact, and there's a reason why Solomon has now attempted 40 free throws in 7 games. This girl knows how to get to the line.
Yeah, and she goes to the basket in a hurry. You know, she's got a quick step to the basket.
Not to go on a Solomon tangent real fast, but you were talking about it coming in. She's 50% from the field, 50% from long range, and an 80% free throw shooter. You don't see that a lot in college basketball.
I mean, that is so uncommon, and she just does it all.
Bolden trying to add to Campbell's lead. A little fadeaway. That is short. Barber saves it, and a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
Campbell working to get that second shot now. Both teams crashing the offensive board.
Shot clock down to 6. Barber out to Serrano. She's been red hot in the quarter, and the shooting stroke continues.
Somebody better guard that young lady, huh?
Juana Serrano leads Campbell with 11 points, making her case for Big South Player of the Week with that 3-pointer. Back into the hands of Twitty. Twitty bodies up Bolden, bangs it off the glass and rattles it in. What makes Tasia Twitty such a tough matchup in the post?
She's physical. You know, she appears to like contact and does well with it.
The lead remains 3 for Campbell. Barber on the switch. McNamara Clement swings it around to Spate. A long triple from the wing is short, and Bolden there for the rebound. Taya finds Spate. Here's a 2 this time. Another short shot. Spate gets her board. Ball deflected and stolen by Crudup with a late foul called against Taya Bolden. Boy, Campbell had some clean looks that time, and Greensboro was fortunate to get out of there with no points.
Yeah, good shots. I mean, very good shots for them to take. Good choices. Can't worry about those. Just got to work and try to get them back.
Greensboro just 1 of 4 from the field in the second half, and this is a team that averages 72 a night. How many times we've said that this season? A team averaging 60, 70 plus comes into Bowie's Creek, and Twitty quiets the crowd with a quick layup.
Well, she all over that double-double, isn't she? 14 points and 8 rebounds.
Tasia Twitty, the leading scorer for either team tonight. Barber off the ball screen. Slips it back to Staves.
Watch the shot clock now with both teams.
Down to 10. McNamara Clement can't convert, and a tough rebound. There's number 9 for Twitty. Crudup into the front court, sprints past Barber, switches hands, and lays it in. CC Crudup, 4 points for the junior point guard out of Richmond. What makes this game so fun, Crudup and Taya Bolden, high school teammates growing up in the Richmond area. And they are toughing it out tonight. Staves, the freshman, short on the 3. And Greensboro can now add to this 1-point lead. Powell wants it by herself. Trying to work it into Twitty. Great position by Boyd. Right in the block, spins to her right. Forces one up, and McNamara Clement strong defensively.
Campbell picking up the pace here.
Back and forth we go halfway through this third quarter.
Bodies flying everywhere, huh?
Spate faked the shot. As Campbell led by 2 at the break. It's now Greensboro up 1 as we near the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Shot clock down to 8. Barber on the switch, into Twitty. Airballs the shot, and Boyd cleans it up. Solomon, ever dangerous. Solomon into Spate, stripped by Kiana Spate, and it's kept in play. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
What a defensive effort by the senior in Spate.
Wow.
Saranya, she's been red hot tonight from 3. Picks up her dribble. So much pressure there by Twitty defensively.
It's rough. It's rough out there.
Spate is stripped, and an offensive foul. Boyd draws the contact, and what an effort by Aja Boyd.
Yeah. You sort of feel the tide changing a little bit right now. Shifting a little bit there. Whew, that's tough. That's hard to tell. Looked like both players are still moving.
Timeout on the court. Greensboro back out in front here midway through the third quarter.
Hard work, a love for the game, is mandatory down here. Sacrifice, a desire to be great, lives down here.
Perez open 3, yes!
Excellence, the will to compete, persists down here.
It's for the win!
This is the Big South, where winners are made.
Geico makes it easy to get help when I need it. With licensed agents available 24/7, it's not just easy. It's having Jerome Bettis on your flag football team easy. Go get him, Bus!
Ooh. Come on, Bus. Come on. Hey, wait. I'm gonna get the flag. I got your flag, man. I got your flag.
It's Geico Easy, with licensed agents available 24/7.
49-0.
1 point.
Discover the new language of travel.
Bonvoy.
Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences. Rewards reimagined.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
This Big South Conference broadcast is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today. Marriott, the official hotel partner of the Big South Conference. And Sunbelt Rentals. We have equipment for that.
Kiana Spate trying to be aggressive offensively, and Aja Boyd in a game that's been very physical draws the charge, and you see Spate's reaction. This game's had its fair share of charges. We've seen some physicality. What has impressed you about how these teams have gotten after it tonight?
Well, it's who can endure this physicality? Who can rise to the occasion against this physicality? Because we've seen it since the onset of the basketball game.
So UNC Greensboro on a 6-0 run, now with the lead and with the basketball. It has all been done in the paint here as of late. Twitty sizing up Hampton, a step back from the elbow, and she nails it.
Well, she plays with confidence, doesn't she, Twitty?
Tasia Twitty, 1 rebound shy of a double-double. She's got 16 and 9. Michaela Coleman freshen off the bench for Campbell.
Greensboro switching on that screen.
Thule has 7 points tonight. Fakes out a defender in Crudup and rattles in the free throw jumper. That stops an 8-0 run.
Yeah, good patience. Campbell not getting so far down in that shot clock that time, making a good choice early on.
Shai Thule now in double figures for the 19th time in her career, as that shot is missed by Twitty. Here comes Serrano trying to give Campbell the lead. Pitchford making it tough for Serrano. Coleman giving some space. Now back in the hands of Thule. Left wide open. Risky business, and Thule's feeling it.
Well, that's one you can't leave out there all alone.
Shai Thule from the men's line. She doesn't care what color it is. It is a green light. 12 points
Slick
for the
and
sophomore.
smooth and steady.
Slick and smooth Shai Thule. I can see that on a poster one day. Good pass into Solomon, but it's off her ankles. A turnover for Nadine Solomon, the preseason All-SoCon player that has struggled to get her offense going. Just 5 points tonight. And now we see Taya Bolden come in for Campbell as they jump back out in front.
I'm watching Twitty and Solomon going down the floor. They're still having conversation. That's what you want on a play like that. You want to hear conversation as a coach going on out on the floor so it doesn't happen again.
Both players 3-year starters for Greensboro. Now they're trying to figure out how to slow down Shai Thule. Thule calls her own number, misses short, and Solomon there with a rebound. Here comes Nadine Solomon. Back into the hands of Pitchford, who's been effective tonight with 4 assists.
Greensboro getting set, running a quick hitter here.
Solomon bounces it in. Good spin and a block by Hampton. Twitty gets it back and a foul on the floor. That's on Taya Bolden reaching in, and Bolden can't believe it. That's her 3rd foul. You seem to disagree with the call there, Coach. I'm curious.
Maybe we get another look at this one. Looked like a jump ball. But, you know, it's hard to tell. Our angle is always so different from that of an official, and they're usually on top of it.
Solomon heads to the bench with 2.5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. And in comes Alexis Willie, number 2.
Look at the contact.
And a foul is called. And I believe that's going to be on Brittany Staves.
For that would send Twitty to the line, then won't it?
That's her 2nd foul. And now with 5 team fouls, you're right, Coach, Greensboro can shoot free throws from here out. How about that number? 0 fouls for Campbell, 5 for Greensboro. Alexis Willie makes it a 1-point ball game. She's got 4 points tonight off the bench. And we talked about it coming in. Could Greensboro get contributions from their bench? Willie, Pitchford, and even Redmond. They've all combined for double-figure scoring
they
for
really
Greensboro.
have. They've proved me wrong.
Hampton spotting up Boyd. Goes to her left, swings it out to Barber. And Haley Barber draws the reach-in foul. That's the 1st foul of the quarter for Greensboro. And that's on Excellence Greer, her 1st foul. She checks in a minute ago. Excellence Greer, by the way, that's spelled with an XT. The X is silent in excellence.
That's very unusual, isn't it? Excellence.
She played 4 minutes against Asheville on Black Friday. Freshman guard out of Charlotte from Vance High School, one of the premier programs in the state.
Got a little water out on the floor.
Little wet spot. And Ronnie Fisher says, oh, is that 30-second timeout? What would you like to say in a spot like that if you get an extra second or two?
Hey, This is a big play right here, gang. Let's run so-and-so and knock it in.
Barber backs it out as the shot clock ticks under 20. Tooley thought about a three. Leaves it up for Barber. Top of the key. That is strong. Kicks around, and it almost bounced in, but that won't count. A rare miss for
Good look
Campbell.
by Campbell.
They've made
Good
7
open look.
three-pointers tonight against the best three-point defense in the SoCon. What has allowed Campbell to succeed from long range?
Well, you know, it looks like the Greensboro is committed to keeping them out front. We mentioned that early on in the first half. And Campbell's getting these open looks, and they're nailing them.
Good slip by Twitty, but it's stolen away. Here's Tooley. Tooley, her head's turning back and forth like a carousel. Gets it out to Coleman. And now into the hands of Tooley. Ronnie Fisher wants to run a play as Barber, the senior point guard, backs it out. Guarded by Excellence Greer. Staves to the block. Up into traffic, and a foul is called. Tasia Twitty commits the foul. That's her second. And Greensboro was arguing there might have been a travel there before the shot.
Oh, well, guess who wins that one? Always the official, right?
Campbell has not scored in 2 minutes, so a crucial free throw here for Brittany Staves. And the freshman rattles it in. Well, Coach, you make the call. Was that contact on the ball or on the arm of Brittany Staves? Tough to tell.
Looked like a little body contact, but.
By the way, Brittany Staves connects on both, and Campbell is now 6 of 10 from the free throw line, breaking the 2-minute drought. Excellent. Greer's pass is stolen away by Tooley. Shy is off and moving, and Greer knocks it out of bounds. Good recovery by the freshman. Campbell basketball.
Good defensive play by Tooley that time.
We've seen a lot more of Shy Tooley tonight. 12 points for the sophomore. She's made 3 three-pointers, and you can tell she's taking it to another level here tonight.
Yeah, big impact by Tooley. She's an impact player, though.
Good slip by Staves on the inbound. Goes right up, get the basket, and the foul.
Using that physicality to her advantage there. Staves a strong player, showing her strength there, knocking that shot in and getting to the line. Here we go.
And that's the foul on Twitty, and Brittany Staves excited to finish strong. Brittany Staves now 3 straight points, but can't complete the three-point play. She's in double figures now with 10. No field goals for Greensboro in the last 3.5 minutes. Solomon now back in for the Spartans, their leading scorer on the season. Here's Willie off the screen. Shot clock under 10. Pitchford wants to turn it on. No room to operate against Tooley. Down to 3. Tough look with 2. And Pitchford makes it a 2-point game.
Hard to do much about that.
Alexis Pitchford, the Orlando, Florida product, coming alive off the bench in the second half.
It's what I call good offense, good defense.
Campbell not electing to go for the 2-for-1. Barber, a clean rejection there by Boyd, and it's off the leg of Coleman. Good defensive stop by Aja Boyd, and Greensboro can tie it late in this third quarter. And Barber a bit slow to get up. It takes all 4 of her teammates to get Haley up to the floor.
Looked like she might have got a Charlie horse on that. I don't know.
So Serrano comes in for the final 28 seconds. And now Greensboro wanted to close this quarter on a strong run. But they'll put it in the hands of Alexis Pitchford. No rush for the Spartans, who are shooting 50% in this third quarter. Now Trina Patterson triggers the play. Pitchford gets some confusion defensively. Comes up short. Tooley gets the rebound. 2 seconds left. Time for Tooley. Out to Coleman. The shot counts. And a transition layup ends this third quarter. Got to check the clock here to make sure it counts. But what an effort by Tooley to find Coleman. Oh, that looks clean. What about Campbell there, Coach, able to finish that strong?
That's masterful using the clock there. I really thought they were going to take too much time, but Tooley very unselfishly making that play work.
When we come back, the fourth quarter, Campbell up 4. How about the end of the third quarter? Shai Tooley finds Michaela Coleman, and right before the buzzer, Campbell extends its lead to 4.
Big play, huge play, perfect timing, masterful use of the clock that time by Campbell.
Ronnie Fisher's club outscoring Greensboro by 2 points in the third, and now as we enter the fourth, it's Campbell up by 4. The Camels have not lost a game this year when leading after 3. Greensboro has come from behind once in these situations, and a very tight ball game here to start the fourth. Joined by the Hall of Fame coach, Wanda Watkins, Evan Budrovich with you. It's been the Shai Tooley show. 12 points for Shai and a breakout effort tonight.
Campbell really making Greensboro work to get open on that.
And now Pitchford, who's been excellent at the point guard position tonight, brings it up the floor. UNCG shooting just 45%. Here's Solomon right off with the 3. And a foul behind the ball. That's Willie with an unnecessary foul. Alexis Willie picks up her first.
Total incidental there, I think. You just couldn't stop her momentum from falling on the Campbell player.
Keep in mind, in the third quarter, Campbell did not draw a foul until the final minute and a half. Tooley off the screen. Little ball movement for Campbell. And right now shooting at 43%. A clean look for Hampton, and it's blocked. Boyd is called for the foul. And Ashlyn Hampton goes to the free throw line.
Campbell doing a good job that time with 4 out on the perimeter, creating a lot of space for Hampton to work and operate inside for them to make that pass in there to her.
Ashlyn Hampton just 2 points tonight. She scored all 6 of her points last year from the free throw line against Greensboro. And how about that look for the Marshall cam up top? Looks pretty good either way, and it's a 5-point lead. Hampton and the Camels, top 20 in the country in free throw shooting. And Hampton makes both. Lead is back up to 6 here 30 seconds into this fourth quarter.
A lot of momentum changes in this second half.
We've had 8 lead changes so far. And now can Solomon and UNC Greensboro come crawling back. Pitchford, the backdoor cut, right through the hands of Nadine Solomon, and the turnover, the 16th of the game for Greensboro. What's been going wrong for UNCG?
Well, I tell you, it looked like a good thought. Just did not quite finish on their execution there. She had her. But again, Campbell has upped the defensive ante, and it's come up big for them.
It's almost if they're rising to the occasion tonight, playing the SoCon's leading scorer, and Coleman on cue makes it an 8-point game.
Once again, getting lift from the bench. Campbell, making the fluid substitutions, and, they just come in and do such a good job with it. We've seen Coleman.
Yeah, she helps force the turnover there. 8 different players have scored for Campbell. 10 have come in. It's been a balanced effort tonight for Ronnie Fisher's club, trying to win their 3rd straight at home. Barber off the pick. Back out to Tooley with the shot clock at 8. Tooley into the post for Hampton. One-on-one with Boyd. Tough shot, and it rolls in.
Hampton's going to work.
Ashland Hampton 4 points in this fourth quarter, and now Campbell's largest lead of the game.
Campbell's doing a real good job of capitalizing inside. We'll see if Greensboro makes any defensive changes.
A 6-0 run to start this fourth quarter. Twitty trying to answer. Twitty on the move, had it stripped by Serrano. Barber got poked in the eye. And luckily, Haley Barber, a trooper, as she walks it across the court and playing an eye down right now. Coleman right inside the key. Imagine if Barber took a shot here, what her vision must be like. Battling a hurt eye. Tooley instead gets it to Barber. Well, here we go. Shot clock at 5. Slips it to Hampton from the elbow. And that is well off. Greensboro trying to break this 6-0 start for Campbell. UNC Greensboro, they average 72 points per game. Tough to come by tonight as Solomon slips into the key and draws the foul on Michaela Coleman.
Again, Solomon showing that quick step she has to get to the basket. And
Nadine Solomon, 2nd all-time in UNC Greensboro points, and showing you why with this quick move to the bucket.
He just split the defense there and went straight to the basket on the left side. Good play by Solomon.
Solomon has scored in double figures in 6 straight games. That might be up in limbo tonight, as after the missed free throw, she has just 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting.
Unusual for Solomon. Campbell's doing a good defensive job.
Now it's a 9-point difference as Greensboro scores its first point of the quarter, 3 minutes in. Serrano and Campbell back to work.
Here we see the change. Now they're going to the zone, trying to take away that interior ability that Campbell, they've isolated inside the last few plays down the floor. Now they're going to try to take that away and force something to take place on the perimeter.
Shot clock ticking down to 7. Serrano falling into the corner. Finds Coleman. Out to Spade. Fakes the 3. Steps into a triple and drills it.
And Campbell takes advantage. Out on the perimeter. That's tough.
Campbell averages 8 made threes a night. They just hit their 8th here. And now a 12-point lead.
They've got it going on the interior and the exterior of the floor. It's hard to defend.
Tough drive in, and a foul drawn as Asia Boyd, the redshirt junior, goes to the free throw line. Aja had 14 points when these teams met last year. She's got 7 and 5 rebounds tonight. A quiet third wheel for this Greensboro trio, but trying to pick things up with the absence of Solomon offensively.
A lot of ball game left, Evan. A lot of ball game left.
Boyd goes 2 for 2 from the line, and a timeout called by Trina Patterson. We have a timeout as well. Final 6 minutes coming up when we return here on ESPN+. Kiana Spate, one of the top sharpshooters in the Big South. 2 huge threes in this fourth quarter. She's helped Campbell jump in front by 10 here with 6:20 to go.
Hey, Campbell's showing the versatility in their team. Different players stepping up at different segments throughout the game tonight. It's just been phenomenal for them.
3 players in double figures, and that's not even without their leading scorer in Kiana Spate, who has 6 tonight. Now can Campbell add on to this lead as Greensboro pulls on a press. Staves is stripped loose, saved for the moment, but out of bounds goes Powell, trying to keep it in play.
That's the first time we've seen their half-court trap.
How about in this second half? Campbell only 3 turnovers. They've been very secure with the basketball.
Yeah, they've upped the ante on defense. They've produced on offense. And in order to be successful, they'll have to continue to do that. Greensboro back in the zone again.
Final 6 minutes as Serrano slips into the key and somehow rolls it in. What a crafty finish by the sophomore. Powell back the other way. Spate got a piece of it. Powell with a hesitation, comes up short, gets her own rebound, and now Sorensen from long range. To your point, Sorensen this year, 50% from downtown. Campbell trying to build on a 12-point lead as there's a blocking foul the other way on Powell. That's now the 3rd team foul for Greensboro.
Campbell's looking to slow it down a little bit, get methodical here, take a little time off the clock, and look to get good shots.
Campbell in this fourth quarter, they are 4-5 from the field, starting to pull away from the 5-2 Greensboro. Barber down to the baseline, finds Spate. Kiana with the shot clock at 10, pulls it out.
Probably passed up a good one there.
Tooley with a deep triple.
Hey, doesn't get much better than that one, though, does it?
Shai Thule up to 15 points, and Campbell is up 15.
Really a big momentum change here for Campbell.
Tasia Twitty, so involved in the first half, now up to 16 and 10. Goes right to the rim and beats Hampton for the bucket.
Watch for the defensive half-court pressure here again by UNCG.
Just Serrano draws body contact, and there's a tough foul on Powell, who takes the worst of it going the other way.
Powell looks like she might have gotten a Charlie horse that time.
We have a timeout on the court. Final 5 minutes here in Bowie's Creek. UNC Greensboro trying to climb out of a 13-point hole here on ESPN+. Campbell gets 9 days off for semester finals coming up, and then an Education Day game on the 12th. And coach, as he gets set for the end of non-conference, 2 challenging road games to finish out the non-conference slate.
Yeah, looks promising for Campbell with a big Education Game Day coming up, going up, playing on the ACC, and then up to Hofstra. Make for good competition before they really kick off with one of their arch rivals in the league, High Point.
Ronnie Fisher knows how important this game is tonight. Greensboro at 5-2. They're off to their best start in over 25 years.
And they have a victory over Wake Forest, so.
Can tell a large story about what to expect later in the season. Barber bounces it into Hampton. A tough look with 10 on the clock, and Pitchford comes up with a rebound.
Zone paying off again for UNCG that stretch.
Solomon trying to get going offensively. There's a good start. Nadine Solomon up to 8 points.
Now we're going to see the pressure extended on the full court.
Coach Patterson trying to draw a comeback for her club, down 11. They trail by as many as 15 early in this quarter. Final 4 minutes in Gore Arena. Campbell won last year's meeting 53-49. This year a much higher scoring affair, and Hampton draws contact. 2 free throws for Ashlyn Hampton.
Again, another good ISO inside for Hampton, and She's taking advantage and getting to that free throw line for Campbell.
Aja Boyd commits the foul, and now Hampton, who's made both her free throws tonight, back to the line for 2 more. In an odd night, Campbell actually just 8 of 14 from the charity stripe, nearly 50%. And this is a team that shoots around 70 all season long.
Unusual for Campbell.
All it took was a higher shot. She gets it in.
She heard you. She heard you, Evan.
12-point lead for Campbell. Greensboro trying a last-ditched effort to stay alive as they go to Solomon. And she goes right into Hampton. That's a blocking foul. Nadine Solomon like a freight
Full
train on the
ahead.
tracks, and that's tough to stop.
Full speed ahead. Take a look at this, and there she goes. She explodes and heads to the basket. Whew.
Little inadvertent elbow as well.
Yeah, a lot of contact.
But it was on the floor, not a shooting foul.
Mm-hmm.
As Campbell now with 3 team fouls. Back into the hands of Solomon. She's got 4 points in this final quarter. Now dishing it off to Twitty, and nice defense from Coleman to knock it out of bounds.
Again, a lot of physicality inside. Twitty battling inside that time to hold on.
Pitchford to inbound it for the Spartans. We're 3-1 on the road, and here comes UNCG. Solomon again.
Now the pressure. Extended pressure again by Greensboro.
Tooley backed in her own corner by Twitty.
Campbell wanting to keep their poise here.
And a reaching foul on Pitchford. Trying to apply the full court press, and that's now the
5
5th
fouls.
team foul. So free throws for these last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And maybe none better at the free throw line than Shai Tooley.
She steps right up to the plate there, doesn't she?
An 85% free throw shooter is the sophomore guard out of Hampton, Tennessee. Showing you why with her first free throw. This fourth quarter started much closer. It was a 5-point difference, and Campbell now trying to pull away, up 11. Solomon has been demanding the ball all fourth quarter. Nadine trying to get to double figures. Misses the shot, and Tooley gets the rebound.
Campbell sure going to slow it down here. Take their time in this set.
Campbell gives up just 54 a night, and they're right on those totals right now as we hit the final 3 minutes. Out into the hands of Coleman. Serrano cuts it in the lane, slips it off for Hampton. Stripped loose, but Pitchford couldn't stay in bounds. The shot clock is down to 8.
Good feed by Serrano.
Luana Serrano tonight, 13 points and 3 assists. Now Barber to trigger it in. Almost a 5-second call. And the shot clock dwindling to 5. Serrano with 2. Serrano gets a late foul with 1 second on the shot clock. And a fortunate call there as Lou heads to the free throw line.
Oh, yeah, a lot of contact.
Is that Boyd just not playing the ball and being in front of Serrano there?
Yeah, I think she just got there just a little bit late.
These teams have combined for 33 free throw attempts tonight.
Campbell, good opportunity to ice it from the line with being in the bonus. Greensboro still 2 free throws away.
But Serrano goes 1 for 2. Here comes Pitchford up the floor, trying to make this a single-digit game. Tough shot by Boyd, and she's fouled. As Aja Boyd goes to the free throw line. Both teams being aggressive, getting to the basket. And that foul's on Michaela Coleman, her second.
Yeah, definitely a little reach there.
So here's Aja Boyd, now at 9 points. There's double figures for Boyd, who also has 6 rebounds. Worth noting, Boyd is playing with 4 fouls here for the last 2:30. Trying to stay on the floor for her Spartans. And she gets a friendly roll. Timeout call. Trina Patterson will stay on the court here as Coach, right now through UNC Greensboro, what must they do? We've seen some press. We've seen some tight defense. How do they stay engaged in this 10-point game?
Well, they're talking about now 2.5 minutes is a long time, especially when you can advance the basketball. You want to concentrate play by play. They're going to work hard here to try to get a stop. I'm sure they're going to probably extend their defense and try to possibly run some double teams, try to force some turnovers. Campbell on the other side of the tracks is working just to keep their composure and their poise against pressure at a time like this, and use their opportunities to draw fouls and get to the free throw line and make that be a difference maker down the stretch for them.
So Campbell tonight is led by Shai Tooley, who has now poured in a season-high 16 points. It all started from long range, and after that, Shai Tooley heated up in that second and third quarter.
Yeah, it's been impressive, you know, just the way Tooley, Serrano, Staves, how they've all come in. See Tooley making that move there, and here pull up, slick, smooth. I mean, it's just solid.
Even forcing a couple of turnovers is Shai Tooley, and that's what makes this sophomore an all-conference guard coming into the year.
Well-rounded player, getting her hands on a lot of balls tonight defensively. Good free throw shooter, good rebounder this year for her team.
I'd be curious to talk to Shai Tooley after this game to get her thoughts on what has been an impressive performance as Serrano catches the baseball pass all the way to the bucket and she finishes.
Great play by Campbell with that defender down on the ball, sending the man long.
Barber the quarterback, Serrano the open receiver, and Solomon into double figures after nailing the triple. Do not sleep on one of the nation's leading scorers, Nadine Solomon. She's now got 13. And a traveling violation gives Greensboro the ball back in a 9-point game.
Well, a lot of time.
Boy, 2:30, you mentioned it going into the break. That's a lot of time, and here comes Greensboro hanging around.
Yeah, it can turn around quickly.
Now UNCG to throw it in underneath their own basket. Looking for Solomon, right on the catch. Good move and a foul drawn. That's on Shai Tooley. How about Nadine Solomon? Only 5 points in the first 3 quarters. She has made an impact now, 8 points and counting here in this fourth.
Yeah, clutch. Just a clutch player there. Look at that step, getting to the basket, drawing the foul. She's got an amazingly quick first step to the basket, but hey, she's clutch. She's that team leader. She's going to try to get the job done for them down the stretch.
Nadine Solomon, 3-time all-conference performer. You might want to pencil her in come March for All-Southern Conference. 20
Absolutely.
points a night. And misses the first, but that's a 2-shot foul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why Campbell thought that was a 1-and-1. It was a shooting foul, but
yeah, no.
Keeping everybody on their toes tonight.
Yeah, she was definitely shooting.
Second attempt from Solomon is good, and it's back to an 8-point game. Campbell led by 15 with 5 minutes to go, and here comes UNC Greensboro. Now with the press. Tough pass by Spate and a turnover. Boy, this game is not over yet.
Yeah, a lot of time. Campbell just got to maintain their poise. Got to keep it out of the corners and attack the middle.
This was much the same story when these teams met in Bowie's Creek last year, a 4-point ball game. Solomon taking over here in the fourth, comes up strong. Offensive rebound for Boyd, and she steps out of bounds. Boyd wanted a foul, and instead Greensboro gives it away. Shai Tooley calls a timeout, and actually while we have a second, Coach, what did you think there? Was there a foul, or did Boyd get any contact here?
It looked to me like she traveled. It was hard to tell. I'd love to see it one more time.
Yeah,
you know,
Aja Boyd here.
There we go.
Lost the ball.
Yeah,
she wanted a foul on Coleman.
Yeah, it looked like she never had control of the basketball, and it went off her hands. It looked like a good call. Isn't it amazing? We have to watch it 2 or 3 times, and the officials have to make it right then and there.
Ryan Burnett's crew, they've been busy tonight. And Ronnie Fisher, he's busy drawing up some plays for Campbell. They've committed 3 turnovers on 3 straight possessions, trying to maintain this 8-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go. And this is how Campbell got the basketball back. Boyd was stripped. Thule, of all players, knocked it loose.
Yeah, looked like it was almost close to being a jump ball.
How about Thule tonight? 16 points, 4 rebounds, and she's forced 3 turnovers.
All over the place.
Now Thule slips it to Serrano, little 2-on-1. Coleman hacked from behind and a smart foul by Amber Redmond, the freshman from Asheville. Coleman out of the free throw line in the bonus.
Coleman usually a pretty good free throw shooter too.
Michaela Coleman this season, 3 of 4, 75%. Can't get the friendly roll as Campbell has now missed 9 free throws tonight for a team that shoots well over 70% on the year. 1 for 2 is Coleman, and back to a 9-point game. Greensboro still with time, but they have to be quick here. Solomon sizing up Barber, launching a 3 from the wing, and Thule gets the rebound. Now trapped, and Ronnie Fisher gets a timeout granted. Now 2 timeouts remaining for Campbell, and a smart call there by Ronnie Fisher to bail out his unit.
Absolutely. Still not down to that last minute where you can advance the ball. So
another point of emphasis this year as well, the shot clock does not reset, so it is just at 27 seconds.
Right.
The last time Campbell was underneath its own basket, they got pretty creative, and Haley Barber thought she was Haj Malik Williams out there finding Serrano here.
Beautiful. Beautiful play.
Haley Barber with one of her 3 assists, and that's what, a 60-foot pass up the floor?
Yeah, you got to have a strong arm to make that pass.
We talked about the assist to turnover ratio for Campbell coming in, best of the Big South tonight. 14 assists, that's good. The troubling part has been the 13 turnovers, and that's going to be tested right here.
Yep.
Barber again on the inbounds, finds Serrano much closer to the basket. Lou drifting through to Hampton, dangerous, and Campbell slows it down. Campbell's in the bonus, so a foul here sends Barber to the line. Tough assignment here for Pitchford defensively. Shot clock under 10. Barber out to Serrano. A long 2, misses, and Hampton secures the rebound.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge for Campbell right there. Now they can milk the clock down another 30 seconds.
And Pitchford is forced to foul with 62 seconds left. Here goes Haley Barber, the senior captain, to the free throw line.
Campbell doing a good job playing smart here. Utilizing that. Great effort by Hampton to get to that offensive rebound.
Haley Barber, 90% from the line, and she makes her first. So it has not been a great free throw shooting night for Campbell, yet they lead by 10, and yet they're close to scoring 70 points on the best defensive team in the Southern Conference. What has allowed Campbell to be so offensive-minded tonight?
Well, they've just shot the ball with a lot of confidence, and they've gotten great lift out of their bench.
Solomon going to work, driving across the key, lays it off the window, and Twitty gets the rebound. Tasia Twitty right back up, and she converts. 20 points for Twitty.
20 points, 11 rebounds.
That's a big effort out of the 60 so far, and Solomon with a foul. No harm meant there as she shakes the hand of Coleman.
Oh, yeah, they're just trying to get that clock stopped.
Michaela Coleman to the free throw line as Campbell tries to win yet another home game and move to 3-0 here in Gore Arena.
You know, Coach Fisher has been successful in Gore Arena during his time here, and looking like his team's play is going to pay off for him tonight.
An odd night from the free throw line here for Campbell, 60%.
It really is, and here we were talking about they were the best in the league in free throw percentage before the game.
What do they say about final exams? They show what a team is worth at the end of the year. This is a big test here near the end of non-conference play. As Pitchford, a scoop shot in the key, misses. Another offensive rebound. Solomon gets it back, and it's knocked off of Campbell. So UNC Greensboro ball with 37 seconds to go. All that being said, Coach, still a 9-point game.
Oh, yeah. Campbell's three-point shooting tonight has just been fantastic.
So our referee is going to check the play clock real quick, and I think they're going to review to see who it was last off, if it is Campbell ball or UNC Greensboro basketball. Trina Patterson, if her team does get the ball back, what must they do to keep this possession alive and get some points on the board?
Well, they're going to have to try to score quick. You know, whoever gets the open look is going to have to take it, and they're going to have to take it quick.
So we have an official review here on the court. Ryan Brunette taking a look at what we just saw with that play out of bounds on the baseline. The call right now is Greensboro basketball. That's the initial call on the floor.
Can you imagine what this would be like back in the day where you didn't have the replay?
It'd be a game of phone tag.
How about that?
Nonetheless, we are granted with the ability to look it over. Campbell trying to win 3 straight games against Greensboro. We mentioned it coming in. The Spartans had dominated this series. They won the first 7 matchups all time. And Ronnie Fisher's club now looking for a 3rd straight win over a Greensboro team that has been much improved this year and looks to be one of the better teams in the SoCon.
Yeah, this could be a big boost for Campbell going into the exam break.
So here's the play in question. You be the judge of that at home, folks. I'm very uncertain. Maybe the hand of Haley Barber could be worth noting here. The call stands. UNC Greensboro basketball. There are about 7 different hands in there, and it's almost too tough to tell.
Tough to tell.
Even in slow motion, hard to differentiate.
Campbell working hard here now to try not to give up an uncontested 3.
Solomon to inbound. 9-point game, final 30 seconds. Barber right in the face of Solomon. Nadine, the crossover, into the key, all the way to the hole, and she floats it in. Nadine Solomon quietly up to 14 points. Now it's 16, in fact, as Greensboro down 7. Tough catch by Serrano, and she is fouled.
Ooh, it's rough.
25 seconds to go, and it's going to be a battle at the free throw line. If Campbell wants to win this game, Serrano and company must make their shots from the charity stripe.
Yep, just a little reach there and then a trip.
Kind of caught her off balance as well, which may have made it seem a little tougher than it was.
Yeah, very incidental.
Another missed free throw for Campbell. That's 12 misses to just 14 makes. The most free throws Campbell has attempted all year, and they've struggled with those opportunities. Certainly has kept Greensboro in this game, down just 7. She goes 1 for 2, and a timeout call by Trina Patterson for UNC Greensboro. So Campbell's done such a nice job getting up by 15 midway through this 4th quarter, but Coach Wanda Watkins, what has Greensboro done to get back into this game now just down 8?
Well, I think when they extended their defense, it took Campbell off guard just a little bit for a 2 or 3 plays. Gave them some opportunities to get the ball back and score that they hadn't had prior to that. But all in all, you have to hand it to Campbell because both teams have come at each other very, very hard, and their 3-point shooting tonight has been so effective. It's been the difference in the basketball game.
Campbell has made 9 3-pointers. Greensboro has made just 2, and that's a huge difference here late in this 4th quarter, led by Luana Serrano in her 16 points, coming off a career high of 18. You know she's keeping track of numbers, Coach.
I'm telling you. Is that a sophomore or is that a veteran?
She's definitely not an elder statesman on the floor, but playing like it tonight. Pitchford right back to Willie, who comes in off the bench. Down to 20 seconds as Pitchford heaves a prayer off the bottom of the backboard in the scrum. Recovered by Tooley. Tipped out to Serrano. And Serrano is fouled. That should about do it as Campbell gets a key stop and now sends their sophomore to the free throw line. Luana Serrano, our player to watch coming in. She's got 17 points tonight. And if she makes both free throws, will set a new season high in points.
Back-to-back games, right?
Absolutely. 18 against Kennesaw. Makes her first. Campbell now reaching its season average of 71 points per night and holding Greensboro about 10 points under their average. They came in as a top 25 scoring team in the country. 2 for 2 goes Serrano. We haven't said that much in the fourth quarter.
About that.
10 seconds left for Greensboro. Solomon off the dribble handoff. Has it poked loose. Solomon holding that pivot foot for dear life. Launches a shot and banks it in.
The will to get it done.
Nadine Solomon, 18 points. And the clock comes to a close here in Bowie's Creek. Campbell, a statement win tonight over UNC Greensboro. Moving to 4-2 on the year. An impressive 70-62 win.
It really was. And again, like I said earlier, it's going to be a big boost for Campbell going into their exam break and then preparing for the education game and then those two big games before the holiday and before they open up their conference season. So great night and a great run by Coach Fisher and keeping that string going with UNCG.
There were a lot of key offensive plays, but our Ford Precision play of the night is Shai Tooley in transition, finding Coleman right before the buzzer. That ended the third quarter in a positive way.
That was really beautiful execution and methodical way of using the clock here right down the very stretch. So unselfish of Tooley.
So for Wanda Watkins, I'm Evan Budrovich saying so long from Bowie's Creek, where your final score, Campbell 70, UNC Greensboro. Campbell 72, UNC Greensboro 64. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as a game of our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.